In the ATG system, we train the lower abs and the hip flexors with no equipment, hanging, cable, or monkey foot. The L-sit is easier by dropping a leg, and even easier by dropping your hips. Then reaching forward makes it tougher, leaning back makes it easier. With the gar hammer raise, our goal is to bring the knees to the elbows without the thighs dropping below parallel, but you can make it easier by working lower ranges. With the low cable pull-in, we challenge our ability to cover the hamstrings over the calves, and the weight scales to any level. And the monkey foot also scales by weight, with the form being this leg straight, this thigh above parallel. This works the hip flexors, but not so much the lower abs. So it could be done in rotation with, but not in replacement of the previous exercises. The hip flexors are 5 muscles which go from your lower spine down to your thigh, and they're commonly weak and stiff. So with the direct strengthening in this video and lengthening of the ATG split squat and other stretches, we've seen less lower back pain, greater running speeds, and less wear and tear in the knees because it lightens your stride so you run with less of a thud. Now welcome inside ATG HQ. I want to show you a real set of me going to failure and then actually coaching ATG members come visit, and I'll show you coaching a real set. So this is one of my favorite options. I tend to use either the cable or this one, and my record here is 27 reps to failure. The fastest guy I ever trained could do 50 straight reps. So it gives me a good target to work toward. I love the simplicity of this because I can just hang on here and go to failure. As a naturally slow guy, I ran infamously a 6-second 40-yard dash my sophomore year of high school. My coach made me take my shoes off in front of the team. I was weak everywhere. And so when I started strength training to get stronger, to put force in the ground to run faster, I started tweaking my hip flexors, and I still didn't get as fast as I hoped. And I didn't realize until years of training force into the ground that I was skipping my hip flexors. So I found for myself and a lot of naturally slow people that if we're gonna train that force into the ground, we won't find out our true speed, quickness potential unless we also train the hip flexors. It's the number one difference I found between naturally slow people and naturally fast people, meaning if you don't do any, if they've never trained in the weight room and you go in and you measure them, it's the biggest differential that I found. So this leaves me super optimistic just to have a way to keep getting faster as I get older. Not to mention it makes you feel lighter, so your running form improves. And I think more natural running form. I mean, look, the body was designed to have these qualities in balance. So if we don't train an area, then we're creating a body out of the naturally intended design. So I think it makes sense that when you restore the balanced design, you're then able to do what you want to do with less pain as well. And now I'm going to coach one of our members through it who's visiting and who's never experienced this real cable setup. There's nothing quite like it. I see a visitor having a Jocko go. That means they're ready to go. So I'm putting him on the spot.
Oh boy.
Nick's actually been a member for a long time and now an ATG for coaches member. So he now trains other people. Yep. But I'm going to coach you through. Go ahead and sit down.
Yep.
With straps, rather than starting out with it tugged against it, scoot a little bit closer. Yep. There you go. That way you're not working against the weight of it. You're going to put it, every shoe has a sort of mid-indent part. You want to put this around that mid-indent part of the shoe. There you go. I've got half his body weight. He's going to go to failure. Most people shouldn't start at that. We like to have standards for things we do, which is just, it's not an absolute number, but sort of a dividing number that lets you know if you're on the higher end or the lower end. So he's going to try to get 20 reps, hamstrings cover calves. 2, 3, 4. He's got great form. 5, 6. Can you keep counting for him? 7. Okay, good. So maybe we can't isolate the lower abs. The idea is not to isolate them. We want the whole ab strong. So you might be sore through your whole abs, but it's unmistakable if you haven't done this before. You end up proportionally much sorer in those lower abs. It seems like due to the focus on the six-pack, most of us are weak below the belly button. So I think this is 20.
That's
Got
20.
it?
Yeah.
So you're a failure right on the dot?
Woo, yeah.
How much did you weigh this morning?
Right at 200, man.
All right,
yeah,
you made it. He made it. He passed the standard. So hopefully it's helped, just getting a little live action to see me going to failure on something. Thanks for demoing that.
Of course.
Thank you for watching. Thanks to ATG members for creating this and supporting ATG. Thanks to those of you now doing the ATG for Coaches certification and training other people. And thanks to those of you supporting our equipment. In this video, we used our own cable strap, American made, and our own hanging ab straps, also American made. See you next time. Quick note while we're here, this is actually set up for today's workout in the gym. We have the hip flexors, and in this workout, we actually work on our split squat with the pause. I wanted to show this because you saw the quick intro. The purpose of this video wasn't teaching a split squat, but I think it's always worth realizing that any regression that gets you into it pain-free is worthwhile. I had to start with my front foot elevated and assistance. In this session, this is our back ability session, and so we're working all these connecting areas to the back. We just get comfortable pausing for 30 seconds. So you could hold this at whatever level feels good, find that stretch in the hip flexor, and now you can get into it. So you have tremendous regression here, and believe it or not, the average stairwell is almost perfect for this. I was coaching someone yesterday, and then people saw I was out at the park and started coming, and people had had knee surgeries and stuff like that. And I wound up getting people 6'8" who have had knee surgeries into split squats right from the first day. People struggling with their knees by elevate the front foot, hold on to the railing. Seems to work well with that inside hand on the railing, seems to be really stable, and just gradually owning that position and building up. So while we're here, I wanted to show that it really regresses. It's not just about slamming force. No. It's actually no working through pain, gradually addressing your strength and flexibility in harmony. That's what we see really give those mobility gains.